In this video, I'm going to walk you through lesson 10 of unit 8.1. Okay, we've made it to the end of our content lessons. Where we're going next in lesson set 3 is engineering and understanding how to protect different things from getting damaged during collisions. So that will come next. However, we are ready to take our final assessment, the end of unit transfer task assessment, all about baseball. Now, before we do that, we want to go over some big ideas that we have figured out in this lesson. And so we start by navigating into the lesson and talking about some of the big ideas that we have uncovered or developed as we've gone through the different lessons. You should have already done some of this along the way, but this is basically a review. And there is an example of different ideas that could be put onto this poster. This big ideas table is also considered a scaffold if you want to print it out and give it to students to use during the assessment. So if any of your students need a little extra support, you can print a copy of this big ideas table out and let them use it. But it also guides you as to what should be on this big ideas poster. We're going to think back to lesson 1, and we're going to look back at our different collisions poster. So you will see it has the one thing was moving, one thing was not. Both things were moving, different collisions, A, B, and C. So hopefully this is ringing a bell. And so we're going to think back to these different collisions, and then we're going to think back to that related phenomena that we listed in lesson 1. So people might have experience with playing golf or car crashes or whatever they used, whatever they shared, and they got into the corners of the room of the different types of examples of collisions. You're going to need a list of these, and you're going to need to have them kind of categorized by collision A, collision B, collision C. You can kind of have students do that as you introduce this activity as well. But what they're going to do is they're going to choose one collision and a collision type and one related phenomenon, because we're going to now use our ideas from the entire unit to explain other collisions other than the ones that we've already been using, mostly the CART system. And so we're going to explain why some items were damaged and some objects were not. And so they're going to use this handout explaining the collision. They're just going to pick what collision type it is, and they're going to explain what's happening. Let me open this up. They're going to explain a collision and which related phenomenon they have chosen. And then they're going to fill out these boxes, show both objects before they collide, what happens when they collide, the moment after the collision. So very familiar to lesson 1 initial models. So once they complete that handout, and by the way, as they're doing this, there are some prompting questions that you can use to ask students to kind of bring those ideas to the surface. So this is nice to have available on a clipboard or somewhere that you can reference as you walk around the room to help students kind of use these ideas in their models. And then they're going to share with each other and provide feedback on their explanations. And so they're going to think about what is similar, what is different. So you want to pair them with their same collision type person in the room. So 2 people that did collision type A, they're going to talk together and share some feedback. Now, all of this is just getting us ready to take the assessment and reviewing the science ideas. We're also going to revisit that driving question board, see what we can now answer. This is 2 parts. One, it's to review the science ideas, but it's also used to navigate. So the questions that we have not answered yet are about how we can protect things. How do we keep things from being damaged? And that is going to navigate us into lesson set 3 with the engineering challenge or design process to protect or to create a protective gear for something. And so after all of this, we're going to take our baseball assessment. Now, in the materials video, I talk a little bit about there's 2 versions of this assessment. So watch that video, decide which one you want to use. But hopefully your students are ready, and this is all about getting them ready. And good luck on lesson 10 and having students take the assessment.